directly in front of where the fish I just realized that I was like yelling and like right at the end. That's the main thing.
To the graduates of the class of 2020 and the members of the class of 2021 and their parents, families, and friends here and online, welcome back to Yale. Today, we gather 2 years after you earned your degrees to recognize your extraordinary accomplishments. You made sacrifices. You overcame adversity. You persevered. This ceremony, delayed by a historical global disruption, is all the more meaningful and joyous because of your hard work and commitment to the common good. We salute your efforts, your diligence, your intellect, and your resilience. We also join you in expressing gratitude for all who have supported you in these endeavors, your families and friends, teachers, and other members of the Yale community. In keeping with the tradition of this occasion, I now call on the university chaplain to offer an invocation.
My heart is so full to look at you. With deep gratitude to the Quinnipiac people for this land on which we stand, my beloved Yale family, I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer. Almighty and loving Creator, you are the force that lights the stars, the architect of every cell, the source of all truth. We look to you as many expressions of one living mystery, a mystery that is beyond all telling. In this moment of return and reunion, our hearts beat differently for all that we have been through. We who share this beautiful but aching world, we who look at the same sun and the same moon, are a people called to communal restoration. As students of your handiwork, we gathered at Yale from throughout the earth with exquisite ambitions and have been blessed at this place of light and truth with the freedom to let them grow. Our God of all generations, you are the guardian of where we are going and who we are becoming. We are filled with gratitude for our families, friends, teachers, and guides. Their arms have sheltered us, their shoulders have boosted us, and today their hearts are holding fast to us. Bless us as we seek to reimagine a world made better by the considerable gifts we are bringing to it. May we exude an intelligence that is inspired by justice, guided by tenderness, moved by holiness, and always informed by love. As we continue to greet tomorrow, steady us on solid ground, and together may we become vibrant, living examples of shalom, of salam, of shanti, of peace. For this we say, Amen.
Please be seated. Graduates of the class of 2020 and the class of 2021, family members and friends. It's rare for a university president to have the opportunity to speak formally with you twice to celebrate your graduation. Looking at all of you now, knowing so many are also with us online, I'm deeply grateful for the chance to do so. None of us could have predicted when we first met at your opening assemblies that the culmination of your bright college years would coincide with the onset of a once-in-a-generation pandemic. You gave up big moments and missed out on quieter ones. But the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic did not define your time at Yale. Instead, you are remembered for your compassion, strength, and character. Former University President Kingman Brewster once distilled the selection of our future students as a combination of looking for those with a zest to stretch the limits of their talents and those with an outstanding public motivation. Indeed, it was with this outstanding public motivation that you accommodated what this moment in history asked of you. And it was with this zest to stretch the limits of your talents that you asked how you could serve others. Of course, commencement weekends are traditionally occasions for those of us on the platform to impart wisdom as graduates prepare to enter the world. Yet, as members of the class of 2020 and 2021, you have flipped this proposition entirely. You are no ordinary group of graduates, and this is no ordinary ceremony. So instead, we gather today to commemorate all you taught us. We gather today to applaud your masterclass in resilience and in resolve. Class of 2020, you may recall that at your opening assembly, I concluded my remarks with an expression of confidence that you would, on your first day of school, begin immediately to seek out what is best about this place, the faculty and staff and peers who will both inspire you and prepare you to become the investigators, visionaries, and leaders the world so sorely needs. None of us here can hope for a better world, or even for a more inclusive and exhilarating learning community at Yale, I continued, unless we succeed at this mission. You are, in fact, what gives us hope. That was 6 years ago. Now, on this ceremonial last day of school, you are still a source of hope. Not only because we succeeded at our mission, but also because you succeeded at yours. Not merely because you sought out what is best about this place when you arrived, but because you exemplified it when you left. In his book, The Dignity of Difference, the late Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, who was awarded an honorary degree from Yale, describes a subtle yet insightful distinction between optimism and hope. Optimism, he writes, is the belief that things will get better. Hope, meanwhile, is the faith that together we can make things better. Optimism is a passive virtue, hope an active one. It takes no courage to be an optimist, Rabbi Sacks asserts, but it takes a great deal of courage to have hope. Over the last 2 more years, somber realities around the world have threatened to diminish our sense of optimism, but your response to these crises has provided reason for hope. With a great deal of courage, you have both believed in a better world and worked toward it. Crisis has catalyzed the progress it could have hamstrung. I think, for instance, of Margaret Kellogg, a 2020 graduate of Yale College and a current member of the Saliva Direct team. At the onset of the pandemic, her Yale School of Public Health colleagues began work on easy-to-collect, low-cost, high-quality PCR tests to deploy in communities, school districts, and businesses across America. Under the leadership of Principal Investigator Ann Wiley, millions of Saliva Direct tests have been administered. And the initiative is a blueprint for how society improves access to affordable infectious disease testing. I think, too, of Margaret's classmate, Christina Pau and Paul Gross, her classmates. Christina says the inequities made more visible by the pandemic stoked an existing ambition to make the world a fairer place. She has since launched a research project to examine the haunting rise of xenophobia. And Paul's startup to capture carbon emissions from semi-trucks was founded during the earliest stages of the pandemic. Neither Paul nor the global crisis he is combating could wait for the return of in-person operations. As I look out on Old Campus, I see a force for progress and positive change. Leaders who stepped up at a critical time to help nourish the hungry, ensure the most vulnerable had access to essential services, and collect PPE for frontline workers. I see in you, simply, the compassion of the human spirit. Members of the class of 2020 and the class of 2021, you have demonstrated that the call to serve society inscribed in our founding document can endure, and indeed can be ignited by hardship. You have demonstrated that Yale, in the end, is not its oldest books or its newest laboratories. It is not even the sum of its sweeping Gothic buildings and their sharp modernist complements. You have demonstrated that Yale is simply us and our best effort to realize our mission to improve the world today and for future generations. By force of an emergency, we all had to pursue that mission differently, but we worked together as a community to pursue it with conviction. You have my deepest appreciation for the selflessness with which you safeguarded public health as a student, and for the tenacity with which you have worked to repair our world as a graduate. More than for having your college years coincide with a pandemic at its worst, you will be remembered for representing Yale at its best. More than reinvigorating our optimism, you have allowed us the courage to hope. Today we salute your sacrifice that has solidified your rightful place in history. And we will celebrate your display of high moral purpose that will build the future we all so desire. Congratulations. It is now my privilege to call on your deans to present congratulations from your schools.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for the bachelor's degrees in Yale College. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, 931 in number, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science, 463 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of Yale College and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the bachelor's degrees in Yale College as designated by the dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of Architecture. For the degree Master of Architecture, 137 in number. For the degree Master of Environmental Design, 5 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degrees in architecture and design as designated by the dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
That's you. Yes.
Mr. President, I, together with Dean Kimberly Pinder, have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of Art for the degree of Master of Fine Arts, 61 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degree in art as designated by the dean and admit you to all its rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the David Geffen School of Drama. For the certificate in drama, 4 in number. For the degree of Master of Fine Arts, 62 in number. And for the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, 1 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the certificate and degrees in drama as designated by the dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of Music. For the certificate in performance, 2 in number. For the artist diploma, 3 in number. For the degree Master of Music, 138 in number. For the degree of Master of Musical Arts, 77 in number. And for the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts, 12 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the certificate, diploma, and degrees in music as designated by the dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of Nursing. For the degree of Master of Science in Nursing, 238 in number. For the Postmaster's Certificate in Nursing, 2 in number. And for the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice, 33 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degrees in nursing as designated by the Dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of the Environment. For the degree of Master of Forestry, 21 in number. For the degree of Master of Forest Science, 2 in number. For the degree of Master of Environmental Management, 196 in number. And for the degree of Master of Environmental Science, 38 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degrees in Forestry and Environmental Studies as designated by the Dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of Management. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, 758 in number. For the degree of Master of Advanced Management, 118 in number. And for the degree of Master in Management Studies, 123 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer on you the degrees in management as designated by the Dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the Divinity School. For the degree of Master of Arts in Religion, 142 in number. For the degree of Master of Divinity, 122 in number. And for the degree of Master of Sacred Theology, 22 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degrees in religion, divinity, and theology as designated by the Dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Bravo.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the law school. For the degree of Master of Laws, 28 in number. For the degree of Masters of Studies in Law, 2 in number. For the degree of Doctor of the Science of Law, 12 in number. And for the degree of Juris Doctor, 420 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degree by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degrees in the law school as designated by the Dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the graduate school. For the degree of Master of Advanced Studies, 52 in number. For the degree of Master of Science, 109 in number. For the degree of Master of Arts, 95 in number. And for the degree of Master of Philosophy, 717 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer upon you the degrees in the graduate school as designated by the dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for the degrees in the School of Public Health. For the degree of Master of Public Health, 207 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it is my honor to confer upon you the degrees in public health as designated by the dean and admit you to all its rights and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize graduates for degrees in the School of Medicine. For the degree of Master of Medical Science, 78 in number. For the certificate in Global Medicine, 1 in number. For the degree of Master of Health Science, 35 in number. And for the degree of Doctor of Medicine, 112 in number. They were recommended by the faculty of the school and approved by the corporation, and they were conferred their degrees by your official act.
By the authority vested in me, it was my honor to confer the degree in medical science and the certificate and degrees in global medicine, health science, and medicine as designated by the dean and admit you to all their rights and responsibilities.
Praeses clarissime. Candidatos a gradum philosophiae doctoris numero centum octo tredecim te animad vertere velum. A facultate philosophiae arteumque et ab senatu academico illustri approbati sunt. Te, Domine, rogo ut eos ad hunc gradum admittas.
Secundum leges moremque universitates nostrae, vos et gradum philosophiae doctoris admissi, vobisque unicum hoc diplomate, iura illa atque dignitates, quae et hunc onerum spectant cantuli. Nunc studiis felicite absolutis, ego praeses universitates vos ex animo iubeo solvere et valere. Congratulations. Please rise.
Inside on the
be seated. We will now proceed to recognize the recipients of the 2020 honorary degrees. The tradition of awarding honorary degrees at Yale began in 1702. Honorary degrees are the most significant recognition conferred by the Yale Corporation, the university's Board of Trustees, to signal pioneering achievement in a field or conspicuous and exemplary contribution to the common good. Honorary degree recipients serve as examples to all graduates, encouraging you to aspire to excellence and to value those elements of human character that they embody: creativity, curiosity, discipline, integrity, and a passion for public service. Those who receive honorary degrees represent collectively the aspirations of this institution. We are pleased to honor in person today one recipient and to recognize the honorands who are not with us today. And I will now call, as is customary, upon the provost to present the 2020 honorary degrees.
Mr. President, for the degree of Doctor of Engineering and Technology, Michael I. Jordan, computer scientist.
Facing an uncertain and complex world, you harness the power of human and machine learning to solve daunting problems. By bridging disciplines and following your curiosity, you have made possible what was once only imagined. Explorer of new domains, champion of big ideas, in recognition of the doors you have opened and the networks you have built, we are proud to bestow on you the Doctor of Engineering and Technology degree. It is also our pleasure to recognize the 2020 honorary degree recipients who are not with us today.
Jim Allison, immunologist. Jerome Allen Cohen, legal scholar. Christiana Figueres, public servant. Renee Fleming, soprano. Herbie Hancock, musician and composer. Ming Cho Lee, theatrical set designer. Savante Pebo, evolutionary geneticist. Paula Vogel, playwright and educator.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. Please rise.
pray with me as we close this commencement. God of paradox, unknowable in being, but known by experience, unlimited by dimensions, but present in time and space, unchanging, but moved by the sufferings of all. Thank you for the preservation of life in the midst of death, for community in the wake of isolation, for the jubilation of an embodied commencement. Give these we celebrate the daring to attempt what seems impossible, the capacity to perceive what appears unknowable, the integrity to act on principle where no moral compass is discernible. Bless the families that have given these celebrants their past, this university that has shaped their present, and bless these celebrants who will shape the future for us all. Amen.